Hi everybody, it's the 3rd of October 2019 and today we saw drop the latest update for DAYZ on Xbox and PlayStation, the update 1.05. So what I'd like to do in this video is just really read through the patch notes to bring us up to speed on kind of what we can expect when you've downloaded and updated. Although you may well have already done this, but the idea of this is to familiarise ourselves with some changes that might not be immediately obvious. So from Bohemia Interactive they say, "Hello survivors, the console update 1.05 of DayZ is now live. It brings you an expansion on the DAYZ system and introduces an advanced vaulting and climbing system." Woohoo! I cannot wait to try this out. I cannot wait to be able to climb over fences and climb over walls. On the combat side, we've added 2 new pistols and 1 assault rifle. Furthermore, we've expanded our language support with Polish and Japanese. Get all the details and full patch notes below. Now, there's a little video that we can watch first, so let's watch this and see. I'm not sure whether you'll be able to hear the audio actually, but we'll give it a go.
Peggy 18.
Looks like a I think this is a rear-wheel drive vehicle, so the advantage may be that if you crash it won't break the radiator. Maybe they haven't mentioned, as far as I'm aware, the game being any more stable for driving. New AK type, 2 new pistols, a pistol with a built-in suppressor. That's an AK basically without a stock. So when you die, bodies are going to stay there for a lot longer and slowly rot away. Nice. Don't eat that meat. You know it's a bad idea. Now this is cool. Throwing grenades through windows. Here we go. Look at this. Oh, climbing over things. Oh wow, this is going to change the game. I understand you can't climb over fences you've built though, you know, for bases and things. Okay, so that's a nice little video, so let's crack on. New weapons, the Moloch 91. The Moloch 91 is a semi-automatic pistol fed from a detachable magazine. Affordable and compact, it is commonly used by the Chernobyl police forces. It uses 9x19mm rounds. So watch out for those around the map. The Mark II, or the Mark 11, is a semi-automatic integrally suppressed pistol fed from a detachable magazine using .22 LR rounds. It is considered both silent and lethal against short-range targets without armor. So that looks like a nice choice for taking out zombies, doesn't it? KAS-74U. The KAS-74U is a shortened version of the KA-74 assault rifle, usually equipped with a side-folding metal shoulder stock. So it takes M62. We're getting new and improved weapon attachments, which is the new .22 LR rounds. Although, come on people, I think we've got enough different types of ammo at the moment. There's the Sarka 120, which I understand is rear wheel drive. Vaulting. Players can now vault over fences and walls. Players can now scale objects up to 2.3 meters high. Brilliant. Medical changes. They've introduced food poisoning and a balancing of cholera and salmonella diseases. The balancing of health, regeneration and bleeding, improvements and fixes of the medical system and items. Dead body decay. Dead player bodies persist longer and decay over time. Right, so here we go. So this is the full patch notes. In case of problems, please check the Bohemia Interactive Support FAQ. What I'll do is I'll put a link to the patch notes in the YouTube description down below. Game added. Character creation screen. This is a big one. That's a massive one. So now instead of getting a random character, you can choose what you look like. Added the toggle for night vision goggles and head torch via the quick slot menu. So what you're going to do is you're going to press the top right shoulder button on Xbox or PlayStation excuse me, and then you can have different options for turning night vision on and lights on, I think. Added aim helper switch. I guess this is aim assist, so we'll be turning that on straight away. Added the new pistol, the Mlock 91. Added the new pistol, the Mark II, with its integral silencer. Added the new rifle, the KAS-74U. Added the new vehicle, the Saka 120. Added vaulting and climbing to enable players to pass obstacles up to 2.3 meters high. The exceptions being bases, fences, gates and watchtowers. Added .22 LR rounds. Added food poisoning. So presumably now you've got to make sure you cook your food well, and it'll be interesting to see that if you've made some food, like say you've cooked some chicken or you've harvested some fruit, whether that fruit or that food or that meat goes bad over time. I think they've introduced rotten and dried as an option for what happens. So it could be you can start to dry food, so you can dry fruit, maybe you can dry meat, maybe something like that. Added smooth the movement of thrown items from the thrower's point of view. Added a Foley sound for the base radio, probably just means it crackles away. Added window destruction sounds for vehicles. Added suicide functionality for bayonets. Added bleeding effects on melee suicides. Added infected wearing a head torch now have it switched on. Added torch can be soaked up with gasoline, but only if it's not ignited yet. Added dead bodies decay over time. Added the stamina bar now blinks when the player doesn't have enough stamina to perform an action. Added cholera has a chance to appear in water bottles in canteens when initially spawned. So this is why it's important when you pick up a water bottle or a canteen, empty it. Don't risk getting cholera where you start to be sick and, well, in real life you'd be pooping yourself as well. Fixed, here we go, the bug fixes. Fixed, animation applied on items inventory view. Fingers crossed this means we can now see the items in our inventory. You probably come across it where you're going through your bag or your trousers or your jacket and the whole line just disappears and you can't see it. Fixed attachment LOD. I'm not sure what that means. Fixed, the countdown was missing during the respawn. Fixed, putting an item from your hands into inventory when inside a car could make it invisible when putting it back in your hands. They fixed backtracking correction of velocities. They fixed thrown items could fall through the ground. They fixed characters' physics speed. They fixed grenades shouldn't be thrown through windows. Oh, sorry, grenades couldn't be thrown through windows. They fixed the intravenous saline bag and intravenous blood bag didn't have any effect. So now you can collect your own blood and give it back to yourself. They fixed the consequences of giving blood of an incompatible blood type were applied to the applying person instead of the target. That's quite funny, that. They fixed bayonets couldn't be used to cut off bark or cut down bushes. They fixed a weapon used to commit suicide could become inaccessible for other players. They fixed the player could not move after spraying disinfectant spray on another player. They fixed items could be looted through walls using the inventory vicinity. Yes, yeah, I did that with a barrel once. They fixed smoke particles on the bottle suppressor and USG 45. They fixed HESCO boxes would get damaged during deployment and folding. They fixed item in hands could disappear if the player was saved in the vehicle. They fixed misplaced unnecessary collision above a ladder at the cement factory. They fixed it was possible to plug a power generator into cable reel as an unintended reverse connection. They fixed grenades were dealing much less damage to players browsing their inventory. Fixed attachments weren't damaged by explosions. They fixed the player weapon could disappear from hands when climbing a ladder. They fixed quantity indicated for the magazine items. Fixed the state of doors could get desynced upon server restart. Water hit effect on piers and other places along the seashore. The VSS sounds were very loud to other players when heard from a great distance. Flashbang grenades weren't flashing the players' screens at night. Grenades did not affect players from within a fireplace. A burlap sack on the head would not hide other headwear. It was not possible to manipulate with a restrained player's inventory. A client error when placing a spotlight on scaffolding. They fixed a barrel bottom clipped through the ground it was standing on. They fixed that it was possible to wear the great helmet with other headgear. It was challenging to open and close vehicle doors in third person. They fixed cancelling the resuscitation action could create invisible weapons. And lots of other things. And what I'll do is I'll let you read them rather than me read them, because I'm not going to be able to talk soon. Fixed. Cholera only triggered vomiting once per session. Weapon drop from killed players' hands would become ruined. Oh, that's quite an important one. They fixed audio of distant gunshots could be delayed or merged. And they've tweaked a number of things as well. Car crashes now decrease the player's health. Ambient loot can now also spawn in rotten and dried states. See, they're the new states for food. Rotten and dried. So you can get rotten fruit probably, or dried fruit. The tweaked bullet damage is reduced with longer bullet travel time. Growing a beard now takes 4 times as long as before. They've drastically reduced unarmed attack damage to worn clothing. Good. Remove the crafting attachments from the barrel. Oh, right, okay. The leather sewing kit can no longer be used for treating injuries. I didn't know it could. Treating injuries using the sewing kit now takes 20% instead of the 1% of the item's quantity. Tweaked salmonella, lowering the stomach volume threshold for vomiting, increased the vomiting chance, added removal of water and energy when vomiting. Tweaked cholera. They've tweaked the fresh spawn player loadout. Road flare switched for chem light of random colour. Tweaked increased blood loss from bleeding sources. Tweaked bandages using a rag or bandana no longer causes the wound infection because wound infection had no effect on player characters. Tweaked all pants can be wrung out now. So interesting things, as with everything with DayZ. I'm sure there's lots of other things that have happened that they haven't told us about. Hopefully the cars are a little bit more stable as well. I'd be interested to see if the game's running any more stable. But as I say, what I'll do is I'll put a link to the show notes in the YouTube description down below, so feel free to click through and look at them for the Xbox and PlayStation update. And well, I'll see you on Generous.